Good evening, guys. Welcome to Indian Design League, IDL. Today is our 9th day of free webinar sessions. आज हम बात करने वाले हैं कुछ अलग हट करके इंटीरियर डिजाइनिंग एंड स्टाइलिंग। ये दोनों कई बार ऐसा होता है कि हमको ऐसा लगता है कि इंटीरियर डिजाइनिंग जो होता है वो स्टाइलिंग करता है, स्टाइलिंग जो होता है स्टाइलिश जो होता है वो इंटीरियर डिजाइनिंग कर सकता है। सो दोनों अलग चीजें हैं। सो टुडे वी विल डिस्कस अबाउट स्टाइलिंग, magic styling. So today we have Sanket Bhansali sir, the Sanket Bhansali, well-known name in styling, and he's a product designer, furniture designer. Styling is his passion. Styling इनका पैशन है। और अगर मैं बात करूं संकेत सर की, तो मैं पिछले 8-9 साल से संकेत सर को जानता हूं, एंड ही हैज अ पैशन अबाउट हिज वर्क। रात में मैंने देखा है इनको रात में 2-2, 3-3 बजे तक भी काम करते हुए, और स्टाइलिंग में इनका कोई हाथ नहीं पकड़ सकता है। तो स्टाइलिंग सीखने के लिए आज टुडे वी विल अंडरस्टैंड द डिफरेंस बिटवीन स्टाइलिंग एंड इंटीरियर डिजाइनिंग। तो आज हम इसको देखेंगे, इस डिफरेंस को हम देखेंगे। तो संकेत सर आज हमारे साथ में है। थैंक यू संकेत सर फॉर योर प्रेशियस टाइम। आपने जो समय हमारे लिए निकाला और जो आज आप हमारे साथ में हमारे स्टूडेंट्स के साथ में डिस्कस करने वाले हैं, उसके लिए आपका तहे दिल से थैंक यू फ्रॉम ऑल आवर इंडियन डिजाइन लीग टीम। सो संकेत सर, नाउ डाइस इज योर्स, यू कैन स्टार्ट योर प्रेजेंटेशन और you can start interacting with our students. Thank you Sanket sir once again.
Thank you so much, Bharat ji. Thank you for having me today. Thank you, Times and Trends for calling us, and it's a great initiative to start something like this and initiate a dialogue between people like us who have been here for a while and students who are yet to enter or have already perhaps entered but still finding their way. I'm glad that I was approached for this topic about magic of styling. So I think there are two very important words here. One is of course styling, but the other thing is also magic. So what is magic? Magic is something intangible. You can't really put a logic to it, or you cannot really put science behind magic. It is like a lucid language that you have to develop, and that applies exactly to styling. So style is something that it's very personal, and it's going to differ from person to person according to their perception. But at the same time, it has to be very strong, and without it, even the best of designs are somewhere not gonna have that breath of life. I think that is the magic that style adds. It really adds life to otherwise design, because design at the end is technology. It's a science. So it is style that brings that little whiff of say art to it. My first topic that I would like to broach is that a lot of people do not understand the difference, or like the lines are very blurred between styling and designing. What is an interior stylist, rather, or what is the profile of an interior stylist? So I'd like to start with that. So basically, an interior stylist envisions the space, may not necessarily execute the space, but envisions the space, right from the material palette to the color palette to the finishing to surfaces, everything. They envision it and they work in tandem, whether it is in-house or it is working in creative collaboration with some other interior designer or an architect or the client. It is the predominant job of the interior stylist to lend a lucid, definitive language to the space, whether residential, commercial, whatever. So I think that is one thing people have to really understand, that styling is not about, oh, I've arranged flowers, or I've arranged, I don't know, set the dinner table. I mean, it is a part of it, but that is just the very, scratch of the surface. You have to go, if you go in depth, right before the inception of the house. A lot of times clients approach an interior stylist because somewhere they, lack that inherent identity for themselves or for their house, or maybe they're confused as to, they don't know exactly how they want their space to be like, which is why they are approaching you to lend character to it. So this lending of that character is your core strength as a stylist, and you have to work in tandem with your collaborators, be it a designer, be it an architect, or the client itself, in order to give your signature to that space. So like when I talk about interior design, say design, you have to think about everything. You have to think about the plumbing, you have to think about the electric circuits, you have to think about your waterproofing, you have to think about everything from a practical angle as well. With styling also, if you keep these parameters in consideration, it will be much more easier to work with your architect or interior designer or contractor for that matter, to get the vision executed at the raw level, on the ground level. So this is the tricky line between styling and designing. So we are here to enable a vision into this space that the designer or the architect is also trying to get. At the end, both of us are working for the client. So I think that is something that a lot of people do get confused with. A lot of people, even as a stylist, a lot of people do get confused when they're approaching me, because I work in a capacity of interior style, as an interior stylist as well, as an interior designer as well, as an architect as well. Even though I have no training, but I have architects hired in my team. But that is the magic of creativity. I feel like it goes and flows rather from field to field. It is about realizing your imagination. So I think that another big word, imagination. So like style is imagination incorporated into an entity. So yeah, Dharaji, can you hear me? Hello. Hello. So I would really love the session to be interactive, and like as many questions whoever wishes to ask, I'd love for them to come in, because I really keep my sessions always more like a conversation.
So students, you can ask your questions to Sanket sir. He's जिन्होंने अभी ज्वाइन किया है उनको लिए बता दूं, संकेत सर इज वेल नोन स्टाइलिश. ही इज अ प्रोडक्ट डिजाइनर एज वेल. ही इज एक्सपर्ट इन फर्नीचर डिजाइनिंग. तो अगर आपको कुछ भी सवाल है आपको स्टाइलिंग को लेकर के, आप संकेत सर को पूछ सकते हैं. You can ask your questions. Say we can see a lot of people have joined in YouTube and if you are in Zoom. तो आप लोग को जो भी सवाल है संकेत सर को आपको पूछना है, आप पूछ सकते हो. Meanwhile, Sanket sir, if you can show us few of your designs, few of your projects, so would be great help.
I'll do one thing. I'll show like one project which was just styled by us, and I'll show another project which was in conjunction with an interior design. So you get an idea like what is pure styling and what is pure like a combination of both. Can we have this? So this was a townhouse that we had styled in Newcastle. It's in northern England, on the border of the Scotland. Beautiful place. If you can please zoom in the pictures. So this is a very old townhouse. It is about some 200 to 30 years old. And we had to keep the context in place. I think that is one thing we really, as interior stylists, need to understand. I think not just interior stylists, but anyone catering to a customer, especially a creative consultant, has to absorb is the context. What is the context of your space that you're working or your project? So this context was it's an Edwardian townhouse that we had to restore, and we were working completely remotely from India, and the team was in Northumberland, and getting our vision to them and them executing it over there, especially when you're working in such a, with such a fragile structure. I mean, hats off to my team also, who has really pulled this off. So if you can just scroll the pictures. So if you see, it was like, I don't have the before pictures over here, but it was, as you can imagine, a very Edwardian house. They wanted to get the beach as well, because the couple travels a lot. So we tried and we gave them an enamel columns, because again, the columns are very Edwardian in nature. It is I mean, so characteristic of that period. But it was because of this little contemporary mix, I would say, that you can get to the personality of your customer, or try and merge the current occupants personality into that structure of context. So I think that is something very important. If you see, even the furnishings that we have taken, they are very traditional, but in they complement the overall feel without it getting too much. Like, it shouldn't look like a juxtaposition totally. If you can scroll the. So over here also we have taken a very modern chevron pattern, but we've also kept those old Scottish plaid sort of furnishing over there with the skylight. So the skylight also was actually very old structure, but even so, working in tandem with the architects or the contractors over there as to how you can retain it, because you have to understand, as a creative visionary, you have to understand there are going to be some practical challenges on site. So somewhere, how to balance both, it's very important. So over here also, if you can see, we have kept the old mid-century structures. It's just the upholstery that has been used to lend a modern touch. Even with the tables, if you see, they are very classical. It's just because of the way the legs have been molded, or rather they are devoid of any molding, that makes them more contemporary. We have also, if you can see, a tiny little detail such as a vase over there, which again has that oceanic hues that kind of brings everything together. The colors, the wall colors, the white expansive doors, but again in a wainscoted pattern, to reminded of that Edwardian or like slightly classical touch. We've again done a chevron pattern on the wooden flooring. So it's little things that kind of bring the entire thing. And you like you have to kind of develop this. A lot of people say that style is something that is just like you're blessed with it or whatever. But I think even if you're blessed with it, you have to work really hard at it. You have to keep yourself updated every single day. You need to know the terminology. You need to know what is the new thing out there, what is the old thing out there. And also you have to experiment every day and see, okay, this is looking good, this is looking maybe not so good. But unless and until you do it, you will not know. So you have to keep working very hard at all those permutations and combinations. Hopefully your client on you burn your money on your client's hands. So again, if you see here, something as simple as that bed cover, you keep those little things in mind. You see the brass finishing for the lamp, simple things, but they go really a long way. These were all picked out via like video call, by the way. There was no like a sourcing trip or anything. Everything was picked out via video call. Another tip for that would be that every time you go out, make sure you collect data. If you're going to a store, make sure you have their catalog, or you have over email, or you're subscribed to their list, so that whenever there is something new, you are updated. Use technology to make your life easier. So if you see, this was the most interesting piece, that chandelier is the only thing we have actually retained from the house as is. And it's again some 200 years old, but in perfect condition. Now the molding also for the chandelier, it was completely restored. So this was one place where I told them that you have to work this room according to that. So again, the context over here was that our design has to revolve around it. So what are the challenges over there? Because it's again very Edwardian, very heavy in nature. So which is why we have changed the windows over there and made them less obvious in a Victorian way, you can say. Or else even the molding, if you see on the corners of the false ceiling, just has a minimal touch to it, but nothing too elaborate, because the entire focus was supposed to be on that chandelier over the dining table. This was again the mean living. If you see here also the same thing, we are getting art as well. So another very major factor I would say is art really brings life to any space. And it is imperative that you are completely up to date on art, context of art, history of art, because this is going to play such a huge major role. And this is why a lot of people are coming to you for your eye of art, your appreciation of art. And by art, it doesn't just mean paintings. It can mean sculpture. It can be some, I don't know, like today, there are pieces of furniture that are almost art. So you have to keep up with all these things. And it's very simple. Look up design blogs, look up interior blogs, visit exhibitions, visit stores, visit art galleries, read books. It is the most important thing. Go through today. I mean, it is amazing. Like you have museums have opened their archives during the lockdown, which was I mean, they are sharing this repository of knowledge with you. Please go and dig into this treasure, because it's going to help you a long way, and it will, trust me, save you a lot of time in the future if you keep all this ready now. I guess this is all for this project. So this was a project where I had just, you can say, styled. There was no interior design approach towards it. Can we go back to spaces? A little, a little. Yeah, weekend house. So over here in this weekend house, it was a combination of I've been the architect, I've been the interior designer, I've even done some landscaping for them. But I started as an interior stylist over here. So I'm gonna tell you a little context about this. Was that the structure was made and was lying for some, I don't know, good 5-6 years, and we had to give it a complete different look and feel altogether. So again, you have to get with your team. You have to understand, we are working in Alibag. Now the client wanted an IPS finish. Is that going to work with those rains? Yes, probably a little bit more hard work, but it can. So you get those things. But the most important thing was to keep your vision ready, that these are the things that you envision this space to have as its core elements, and then here and there you can work out a little bit more. So for here, our core elements was the IPS finish, like the concrete texture, and wood. So if you see, we have clad some of the rooms in wood. Even the deck is in wood. So the entire house was done, like even the bar counter was clad, was in a way you can say constructed with the IPS finish. The cabinetry was done in solid wood. Another thing I just want to point out is that there's this misconception that, like if you're getting an interior stylist or an interior designer, it's always going to be very expensive. I think that is totally incorrect. If as an interior, consultant, what your client's budget is, and by that I mean that fixed budget, not that budget, okay, abhi itna diya hai aur fir thoda bad jayega. No, you should always know the correct amount, and you have to account for it regular, like periodically, because a lot of times it happens that by the time they reach the finishing stage, there is no money left for the flowers. So you need that in order to, you have to account for everything. You have to account for the choice of your finish, the choice of your cladding, the choice of your even, bathroom fixtures. Something as simple as, the finish of your bathroom, like sanitary ware. Like for example, I wanted to be in matte black, or I wanted to be in, say, a rustic copper, or if I have to go for a chrome finish. Budgets also depend on something as simple and little as that. But this is again the, that those magic elements. So you have to kind of weigh uh, like what is important and what is imperative. So a lot of glass also was used. So another thing about glass, like as stylists, we don't realize the amount of glazing that goes in. And this is something I have really learned on the go. And I really want you guys, when you start out, I hope you don't have to face all the issues that we did. Air conditioning and leakages, something as simple as that. Because yes, everything is transparent, you're enjoying the view, you're sitting here, you're seeing the pool, but you have to realize these little things also. How are you, how is the air condition gonna function properly? It's not just about the monthly electricity bill, but it is also about cooling. How are we gonna make sure that the entire space gets cooled? So you have to sit with the technical team as well. And this does not mean that you're sitting with architects or something. It can be something as simple. If you're taking a project as a freelancer and you have no idea, but please listen to your technical team. Please listen to the AC company. Take their points, take their considerations, take their concerns, and make an informed decision. So if you see over here, again, it is a continuous language. So you find a definitive style. And I think that is what clients are looking for when they come to you as a stylist. And it's not just clients. I have been approached many a times, even by designers or architects, because I think sometimes they get into this rut of the technical side of it, that somewhere they require to maybe outsource the magic bit of it. So keep this in mind, and there are so many opportunities that way also. Like, it is not just about making a freelance studio. A lot of design studios, a lot of architecture studios are hiring interior stylists nowadays. Look out for those postings. Another thing, I have to add, a lot of people don't think as to how it is going to look in the night. You have to think about a lot of things, because when people are coming to you, they don't have that vision, which is why they are coming to you. So you have to keep a very, wide vision. How is it going to look in the night? How is it going to look in the rains? How is it going to look in, the summers? Like, is it going to be too overbearing, or is it going to be too cool? You have to think about all these things as well. Whatever you decide is your prerogative, but make an informed decision. Keep all factors into consideration. Now over here, a very interesting thing was the kitchen. So kitchens is something I have to really, uh, give my a lot of time to, because it is a place that requires the most utility, I feel, and you have to incorporate in a way, especially if you're doing open end kitchen, that it does not disturb the aesthetic of the house, but rather blends into it, or if not adding more. So over here again, we kept those IPS finish wherever possible, and went with a matte black finish for the shutters. If you see, even the drawers and all, we tried to incorporate within the structure itself. For that matter, even the appliances were all selected with a black screen. Is the other section. So there was not a lot of landscaping to do here. We kept as many trees as possible, and I personally believe in having a very natural backyard. But you have to listen to your client, and this is another thing I would like to give a little tip. At the end, it is your client's space, it is not yours. They are the ones spending their money. So somewhere, you also, as a creative person, you have to listen to your client, but set a ratio for yourself, that you don't have to agree every single time, but you have to agree most of the times. Is there? So over here also, if you see, so something as simple as what was on site. So if you see those logs, they were all the trees that were had to fall, like when we were doing a little bit of the reconstruction. Can you go back? So we used those things and made a wall mural out of it. Even those plates that you see there, they are those cast iron plates that the locals, like the local team, they used to actually cook their things on them. So we've just it just went so well with the aesthetic of the house that we just use them as wall murals. So here I want to point out to that split AC that you see. So a lot of times I personally, don't like seeing split units everywhere. But you have to take into consideration the practical aspect of it also. Whether it is going to actually cool, or whether it is possible to take the copper ducting everywhere, because again it is very expensive and it may not be very efficient. So certain decisions you have to be a little flexible about as well. If you see, even those cushion covers, they are actually an ode to the client's I think mother. They're made from her nawari sari. So like small things like how to incorporate these little touches from your client's life, because at the end they are here to make memories. So you have to think from a different perspective as well and give them something that they will actually find magical when they come back. This was the bedroom. Again, we so there's a actually they have a little washroom overlooking. The bedroom is looking overlooking the that there's an outdoor shower there. So even the doors, everything, for that matter, even glazing, we wanted full view, thing. So we had to go for these specific window brand that they were the only ones who were giving that width and length in those shutters. So again, something, I had met them maybe I think some 3-4 years ago when this project did not, there was no opportunity to use their services then. But when this project came, I knew that I can get it over there. So that saved me quite a lot of time. So my point is, like whatever you're doing, it's research, but please compile that research. You shouldn't have to go back and forth again and again. Save your time, because time is money.
Guys, there is some technical glitch, so please bear with us. We'll restore in 2 minutes. Just allow us 2 more minutes. We'll restore our presentation.
You're back. Okay. So I guess we are halfway done through the session. If there are any questions now, I would love to take some.
Guys, now you can ask any questions to Sanket sir. Now I would like to ask you a few questions, Sanket sir. जब तक के students के सवाल आते हैं, I will ask you a few questions. What do you think? Styling is difficult or interior designing is difficult?
I think it's very I mean, it depends from person to person, because a lot of times you may be a brilliant stylist, but if you are stuck in the position of a designer, it's going to be difficult for you. Or you may be brilliant with the technical part of it, but someone is forcing you to exude style over there, it's going to be difficult for you. At the end, both of them have to run hand in hand, but you have to pick your strength. I think you have to gauge your strength and then decide.
Wonderful statement. Wonderful statement. You have to gauge your strength. You have to gauge your capacity, and accordingly you can work. So, Sanket sir, which is your close to your heart, means Sanket Bhansali as a designer or Sanket Bhansali as a stylish?
I don't know actually. Like to be honest, well, I'm not trained interior designer or a trained interior stylist. I'm a trained product and furniture designer. This is something I just like to do. I was doing for myself, and then I people started asking me to do for them professionally, and I kind of enjoyed that as well. So. But yeah, it's more like a passion thing, and that is one more thing I want to tell people. Like, I think it's kind of connected to your question earlier as well. To become an interior designer, you have to study the fundamentals of it. You need to know certain softwares, you need to know certain technical things, say plumbing or electric layouts. With style, I just decide I want to become a stylist. I announce it to the world. I am an interior stylist, and boom, you're an interior stylist. Are you a good interior stylist? Not necessarily. You have to work hard for it. But technically, yes, there is a difference. So, yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like, I enjoy both, and this is my passion. I've never seen this as, like, even though it provides a lot, but I've never seen this as my bread and butter. So, yeah, I do enjoy styling.
Both sides. Okay. So, Sanket sir, what do you advise to our students who are listening to you? So, what do you advise them? You have given a lot of advice. Say, as an example, you have given that them you should have good product knowledge, or you should know you should read the books, and you have to attend a lot of exhibitions. So, what you would advise to the students who are interested into interior designing field or styling field?
I'd say that, use your resources, whatever you are, wherever you are.
Wonderful.
The very fact that the entire world for almost 4 to 5 months, we were all locked in our houses. But you had knowledge at your disposal through even the very fact that we are doing this session. Like, I personally don't know any one of them, but I'm able to connect with them, and whatever little knowledge I have, I can share with them. So these opportunities, don't let go of them. If you have anything at your disposal, whether it is a library, whether it is an online session, or especially if you're paying rent, so for sure you should make the most out of it. But otherwise also, whatever resources are there, make most out of it. Do not complain. Like, you can complain when you have run out of resources, that okay, there are no more resources now. But until and unless there are resources, don't complain. Like, make the most out of it. There are no also, another thing I would like to say is, because I was very fortunate to meet, a lot of people. I think it's very important to also have like a mentor, you can say. So if you have anyone around you that, you feel inspired by, or maybe someone you don't even know, there's no harm in just sending them an email. Maximum they don't reply. But, reach out. It's easy. It's easier, much easier nowadays.
Okay, Sanket sir, one more question that comes in my mind. As a stylish, what should be our students should have the knowledge, or you can say what qualities they should have as a interior stylish?
I there are some technical qualities that you do need. You have to be able to convey exactly what your vision is. You cannot be haphazard. कि अच्छा ये ऐसा करते हैं नहीं, आपको वो एक कॉन्क्रीट तरीके से उसको प्रेजेंट करना आना चाहिए. Your communication has to be clear, whether it is through a visual medium or it is through an oral medium, or for that matter, if you are actually getting those samples, that this is the material samples, these are the color choices that we are looking at, whatever, that presentation is also very important. So I think that is one skill, because that is the most primary thing. And the other
Okay,
thing
means
is,
they should,
like, I
yeah,
mean, that is the only
means
thing you can,
students,
learn. Rest
correct, correct.
everything. So hopefully,
Yes, sir.
you pick
So
up.
the presentation skills are important. Then your communication is important. Your product knowledge is important. So you should know all the things. And now I will ask Mital Janriwala. You can ask your question to Sanket sir. You can unmute yourself and you can ask.
Good evening, sir.
Hi.
Very glad to
Yeah,
have class small session with you people. It's really, it's very helpful for us to start something new.
Yeah.
Sir, I would like to know, like in few projects, people do want sunlight, but there at times they don't have option to keep windows and all. So what can be done for that reason? I saw sir, he focused more on glasses and all with big, huge windows just to get sunlight, more and more sunlight into the house. But at times there is like being into a colony where equal buildings are like attached to one another. So what can be done in that case?
To get getting the natural light, what we can do?
Yes, sir. Actually,
as you shown in your first presentation, उसमें आपने एक window जो expose की थी जिससे sunlight आ रहा था. So what she can do? She is asking simple question. What we can do to get natural light in apartments?
Okay. So actually, I have been blessed. My problem is generally, completely reverse. I get such huge skylights and all that I have to shut them. I think it's not possible. It will be too hot for you to even sit.
Yes.
But having said that, I think especially while working in Mumbai, I found this problem the most, wherein houses are so close to each other that it's really difficult to get that natural sunlight in. What I suggest is, firstly, please analyze with your builder or your primary architect whether you can break something or not. Because at times it is possible to break a niche or something, making a fixed glass fixture. So if you have the necessary permission, and it's very surprising at times, you feel they'll say no, but they are actually quite open at times. Second thing is the use of material. If you have these restrictions of not enough light, please use colors that are going to reflect light abundantly. please use materials that are going to not absorb that light. Avoid, say, like a dark wood or something. Use lighter shades, because they're very simple things actually, but they are they say the simplest solution is the most wise one. It's something like that. And one little, I can give you my trick. What I do is, at times I have even used glass bricks. Because there's no other way. So we just change the brick itself and we use glass bricks. So at least some light could come in. And at the same time, you can control the transparency of it. Whether you want it to be transparent, you want to be translucent, or you want it to be completely opaque. So that is one little trick that I use when I have to use, get more natural light in. And please check with your builder, because most of the times they do allow.
Okay. So एक और सवाल संकेत सर मेरे सामने आ रहा है कि जब हम कलर पैलेट बनाते हैं, when we wanted to show our color palette, this would be the color palette for your house, or this would be color palette for your. So what comes in first in your mind when you decide the color palette?
So I'll tell you my process. I always sit with the customer. I ask them what they want. And somewhere you do get a sense of what your customer's lifestyle is like. And of course, that doesn't mean I will do what they want to do, because they would have themselves done it, right? But just as a starting point, you understand, and then you have to build on it. And also, I would say that it's not just color anymore. It is a combination of material and color nowadays. Because white on wood is going to look very different from white plaster. So you have to keep both factors in mind. It is not कि मैंने बस ये color बता दिए, but वो color plaster पे कैसा दिखता है, वो color laminate पे कैसे दिखता है, वो color furniture पे कैसे दिखता है, वो color furnishing पे कैसे दिखता है, ये सबका मुझे आइडिया होना चाहिए. और जब तक कि मुझे वो नॉलेज नहीं आता, आई थिंक इट इज बेटर एज अ समवन हु वांट्स टू स्टार्ट आउट, you get actual samples and start putting them together. You will save your time, your contractor's time, your client's money. Put it out there.
सर, वंडरफुल आंसर. एक और सर लास्ट सवाल मेरी ओर से. When customer hire you as an interior designer or interior stylish, and then customer put their opinions, or they started advising you, Sanket sir ये अच्छा लगेगा, Sanket sir ऐसा करते हैं, so how to handle such situations?
देखिए वो तो मतलब that is like something you can't escape throughout your career.
Yeah.
I feel like no matter how big you become or whatever.
Yes.
But I think आपका खुद का बहुत headstrong opinion होना चाहिए. आपका कस्टमर आपको आपके opinions और आपके design process के लिए value करता है. So you have to be honest to yourself. But having said that, as I said earlier also, it is not my house at the end. It is not my money that I'm spending.
Correct.
So you have to set, your ratio. Like for me, my ratio is 85%. If 85% is everything what I had imagined as, I'm okay. 15% I'll, adjust your
client.
Yeah, I mean, it's not just clients. Sometimes, now there is no way. Like, I mean, kabhi aisa hota hai, we have ordered for something and something else has come.
Yeah.
But now, you can't reorder, or like you've already paid for that lot, or something has just, you have selected things at times. Say a particular marble you've selected, and that marble is over. But you can't change the entire thing now because of that.
Something which is not in our hand. So definitely will be helpless. Yeah.
So I mean, like I think it's most important is that you stay honest to yourself, You should be
Yes.
happy with what you're doing. And trust me, if you yourself are not happy, I think you should make an exit. Like, it's okay.
Yes, it was wonderful interacting to you, Sanket sir, after a long time. And thank you once again from Team Ideal to join us. And definitely we'll have some more session with you in future. So thank you very much,
Thank you for
Sanket sir.
having me, and I hope I hope and wish for the best future ahead for all your students and everyone who's tuned in. And anytime you need anything else, please get in touch.
So guys, if you want to know more about the institute, you can log into www.ttaindia.com. You can follow Sanket sir. Sanket sir's website is www.sanketbhansali.com. You can follow Sanket sir on the Instagram and Facebook. So he is very active on Instagram. Every day I can see his post, and every day we can learn something new from Sanket sir. So once again, thank you very much, Sanket sir from Team Ideal. गाइस, कल शाम को 5 बजे फिर मिलेंगे एक नए चैप्टर के साथ में, एक नए टॉपिक को लेकर के हम मिलेंगे. तब तक के लिए अपना बहुत बहुत ख्याल रखिए, स्वस्थ रहिए, मस्त रहिए और व्यस्त रहिए. कीप योरसेल्फ बिजी इन लर्निंग. थैंक यू गाइस, थैंक यू वेरी मच.